This is the E-flite Valiant. Basically, a plane I like a lot. I guess definitely my favourite of the planes that I've got into this year. And a serious contender for favourite plane overall. Not a nice morning this morning, particularly, not really. July, but it's quite chilly. And there's a fair bit of wind. Well, not that much wind, but it's getting up, and I think it's going to get up more. And it's pretty heavily overcast as well. They weren't predicting rain, but it's chilly and sort of damp and breezy, so definitely.
Throttle cut off. Throttle cut on.
Checking. Definitely. Yeah, just not all that pleasant, really. It's not a morning you'd want to be lying around on a deck chair on or anything. It's a bit chilly and damp and whatever. The wind's actually died down a teeny bit from what it was when I was just setting up. But it seems to be coming mainly from the kind of northwest. And it wouldn't surprise me if it gusts up quite a bit soon. See there, it's gusting up again now. I got the Super Cub floats on this guy. He will fly fine off the grass with his wheels as well. But I put the floats on and I've left them on since he seems to fly pretty well with the floats on. Okay.
Throttle cut off. Take off flap.
I don't need much flap, really. In fact, you probably don't need any flap, but... Terrific. Famous last words. He doesn't want to move, I guess. I guess with it being so overcast, the grass is fairly dry. It's the odd thing, when it's overcast you don't get much dew. Oh, no, it's quite sticky. I don't even know whether we're going to get him to take off the floats today. I've never had a problem getting him to take off the floats before, but
Throttle cut on.
There and again, it was always a wet morning. It's just, I don't know. Yeah, I don't think he may not be going to take off the floats today.
Throttle cut off.
Nope, I don't think he is. Oh well. Well, I don't have the wheels with me, so... That just goes to show you. You never know which way your bread's buttered. Nope. He is decidedly not.
Throttle cut on.
He's not going to take off the floats today, is he? You don't think so?
Throttle cut off.
No, I thought maybe sometimes this patch is a bit different, but, well, sometimes it's shorter, but it's not really now. Whoa! See, you just got to get him moving forward a little bit and then he goes. But getting that first little bit when the grass is that sticky isn't so easy.
Flaps up. Time remaining 6 minutes.
I really wasn't. I really was thinking we weren't going to get him to go there because he really didn't want to. I've flown him off the floats off grass quite a number of times. I never had the slightest problem before, but then I guess it was always, the grass was always somewhat wet. It's surprisingly dry this morning because it's so overcast. Oh well. I should put the wheels back on him if I want to fly him off the grass, I guess. Because he flies fine with the grass with the wheels on. On the other hand, there's a float fly in a couple of weeks, and I wanted to take him. The wind's getting a bit windy, you see. I wanted to take him to that. Sorry, I've actually got him in stabilize mode now.
5 minutes. AS3X mode.
Yeah, I want to take him to the float fly in a couple of weeks, and so I'm almost inclined to leave the floats on till that. I think that sounds like a plan, you know. That sounds and he flies fine with the floats on. I mean, he's almost as maneuverable. He's got plenty of power, really, and he's almost as maneuverable with the floats on as he is without. Benign stall. It's getting a bit windy up there. He's definitely flying diagonally. I'm pointing him northwest, and he's flying due west because of the wind up there. But he has a benign stall. He's very controllable.
Time remaining 4 minutes.
Yes, that may be true. I mean, you get pretty decent time off a... See, now that was a very neat Immelman turn, really. I mean, you know, much neater than I can do with a lot of planes, just because this guy does what you tell him to, basically. Well, visibility's not that good, is it? I kind of couldn't see him very well there for a while. But I can't see him very well. It's just dark, basically. It's not that it's mist. There's no mist between me and him. It's just not. There's just not a lot of light. It's heavily overcast. And Ken Smith was just saying that yesterday. You know, when there's not much light like this, and the planes becomes just a silhouette.
Time remaining 3 minutes.
And then like a spot, it's just hard to tell what the orientation is when he's in the distance and there's not much light. And of course, and then again, when you get him edge on against the white clouds, he's hard to see. I don't know. It's just not a very pleasant morning this morning. This is the problem. I mean, it's it's dark and chilly, sort of middle of the summer, and it kind of reminds you of winter. I mean, it's not winter, obviously. In winter, this would be great weather, but still, you know, this is the sort of weather where you're thinking more you'd be like to be indoors in a nice comfortable chair with a good meal, really, rather than
Time remaining 2 minutes.
mucking around in fields outside. It's just not all that pleasant. I bought a transmitter, glove, and a heater and everything with the intention of doing some flying during the winter last winter, but I could never actually quite muster the enthusiasm to do it. Oh, the heck with it. Anyway, you do what you can, so I just did other things. I've done some flying. Floats are good on snow. I've done some flying on snow and whatever, but it's, the planes don't mind flying on snow, although the batteries, of course, you'd get shorter battery life in the cold weather. You've got to watch out.
Time remaining 1 minute.
Yeah, we'll see. And I was mucking around before.
Take off flaps.
I was mucking around before I took him off as well, so I wouldn't expect him to have superfluities of extra time today. And see, it's hard to see him over there. He's not really that far away, but it's just, you know, when it's not with this little light. We should bring him down. He's too high.
30 seconds. 20 seconds.
Yes, okay, dear. There we go.
Throttle cut on.
There we go. Anyway, have I got my strap on? Yes, I do. Well, he didn't complain much about landing on the float as well, because he's just sort of, you know, skidding across and then he lands.
Flaps up.
There we go. I do like the plane a lot. So, trains coming now. We're getting more trains. So I had the timer set to 7 minutes and we pretty much used it all. That was pretty much a 7-minute flight. Wow. And what is the tail of the tape or whatever? That's fine, 11.8. 3 point, yeah, see, yeah, the timer's actually 3.92. Yeah, 3.94. The timer on this guy is actually conservative. Yeah, he does pretty well on battery life, I found, and that's, you know, so that's a 2200 Gen 000 2200 milliamp hour. We were mucking around for quite a bit before we took him off, and then we flew him for 7 minutes. And he's still quite comfortable. You could fly him for another couple of minutes, probably easily on that battery. It's only, it's like 3.93 or so. So, see, he gets massively more flight time per milliamp hour than the Commander. You know, the Commander's just a bigger, heavier plane, I suppose. But I mean, you know, the Commander, you know, with a 3300. I would be hardly even getting, that's the train coming, I'd hardly be even getting such good time with the 3300 with the Commander. I wouldn't. If I flew the Commander for 7 minutes on a 3300, it would be lower than that. It would be down to 380 something per cell. Yeah, train's making a lot of noise. I can't see it yet. He seems to be coming pretty slowly, but it's a little truck I got, which I'm going to try out. See, oh yeah, here comes the train. He is going slowly. Here comes the train on that little railway line that runs right across the north of our field. Oh, that's loud. Always seems to be tankers. Someone was saying, how does it run to? But I think it runs to some kind of depot or something. So, yeah, they run these quite long trains of tankers across there. Anyway.